Hi, it's Bill, Knee Pain Guru. Today is Monday, May 13th. Welcome. The topic we're going to cover on this video is the truth about knee pain, scar tissue, and painful range of motion. The truth about knee pain, scar tissue, and painful range of motion. I'm going to do a short presentation, and there's going to be time for live Q&A. So if you'd like to put your questions over in the comment section, whether you're watching this live actually or you're watching the replay, I do read all the questions and use those questions as topics for future videos. So feel free to ask away. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notifications. There's a notification bell next to the subscribe button. Please click on that and you'll be notified of future videos. Been getting a lot of questions lately across the board. He gave me lots of information, but what do? Head to my website, take my 7-day knee pain reduction challenge at thekneepainguru.com. I'll put that'll be in the description as well as in the links at the end of the video. So we are going to talk about the truth about knee pain, painful scar tissue, and range of motion issues. The most common misconception, this is really true across the board, no matter what type of knee pain, scar tissue, or painful range of motion. And it's why there's so many doctors and PTs unsuccessful at increasing the range of motion and breaking down scar tissue, because they're putting the cart before the horse. It's backwards. They aren't understanding it from a neurological perspective. What is the body doing that's causing it to develop scar tissue to begin with? Which limits the range of motion, makes range of motion painful, and makes the knee pain worse every time you try to go out of that range of motion. Of course, the philosophy is use it or lose it. You got to increase the range of motion, otherwise they're going to do some sort of manipulation under anesthesia to increase the range of motion. But it's kind of like you get stuck on a hamster wheel. We got to get back to the reason why the knee is locking up and tensing up and forming scar tissue to begin with. So let's talk about scar tissue as limiting the range of motion in the knee. This is partially true. Think of scar tissue forming as a result of protecting the knee from getting injured further. The knee was injured to begin with. It doesn't develop scar tissue because it didn't hurt. Something happened that the body started developing scar tissue. Now, this could be an injury, it could be an accident, it could be a surgery, it could be some sort of trauma. So the knee joint begins to limit the range of motion and then develop the scar tissue. Notice how I described it. It limits the range of motion, then develops the scar tissue. And that development of scar tissue is there to limit the movement of the knee so the knee doesn't hurt more. The source of it, everything starts with the pain. Everything starts with the neurological signaling caused by the pain, telling the body to limit the range of motion. The scar tissue then develops as a result of that painful neurological signaling. If we look at it from the perspective that we need to break down the scar tissue to increase the range of motion, what are we doing? We're causing the knee more pain. When you cause the knee more pain, it increases the focus of that neurological signaling to tell the knee to tense up more, which is why you go to a physical therapist. The physical therapist puts you in a lot of pain by prying on that knee, probably bringing tears to your eyes, and you may have an increased range of motion for a period of time, but guess what? A little bit later, that tension comes right back into the knee, and the knee is locked up again. So it's not the breaking down of the scar tissue that increases the range of motion. We have to understand it by changing the neurological signaling. We have to change the neurological signaling. So at that point, if you're just going to physical therapy, you're just going to a doctor, it's going to sound pretty hopeless. You're going to put a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of effort in order to get very little results. And most people are totally happy with that. They delude themselves to think, oh, well, my knee increased a little bit after the last appointment, and it's in pain for days later. And they continue to think that by going through this cycle, that somehow it's going to change. And it's not, because we're not addressing the neurological signaling to begin with. So, sounds hopeless, right? Wrong. What do we do then? We go back to what's sending the signal to begin with. Nerve irritation. It's essentially trauma. Trauma that gets stuck in your knee, your leg, and in your body. And that trauma that gets stuck in your knee, your leg, and your body creates this dysfunctional pattern. A dysfunctional pattern just like your car got into an accident and the frame's crooked. Until you straighten out the frame, the car's still going to be crooked. So, in the case of your knee, you had accident, injury, trauma, possibly surgery. Your frame, your body is crooked somehow. It's created this neurological workaround that is reinforced every time you're moving away from that pain. So, what needs to happen? You need to have a deeper understanding of this neurological signaling, of this wiring that's going on in your body. And from a basic fundamental level, your knee, your leg, and your body doesn't feel safe. You'd be like, Bill, well, that's too simple. Well, getting out of pain is actually really simple. I didn't say it was easy. I said it's simple. In order to get the knee out of pain and change this neurological signaling, the knee needs to feel safe, which means we have to begin to work with the intrinsic movement of the joint. Most of your doctors and physical therapists are going to focus on the gross motor movement of the joint, which is extension and flexion. Extension and flexion. That makes sense. Your knee's supposed to extend, your knee's supposed to flex. What they're not talking about is the intrinsic movement, the fine motor movements of the knee. This is slight twisting, slight side to side, slight apart and together, slight tilting, slight forward and back. And those tiny little movements is what irritates the nerves that causes your knee to tense up, causes the trauma to get stuck in the knee. And it's completely, let me give you a perfect example. Gross motor movement is going to be like you're sitting in a chair, stand up from the chair. Strengthen your legs, leg extensions, leg curls, leg raises. Sound familiar? Physical therapy. Gross motor movement intrinsic movement is what your body needs to use to get up and out of a car. You got to push with your leg and it's kind of at an angle. So you're using a dynamic movement of the leg, which engages these intrinsic movements in the joint. And that gets locked up when the joint's swollen and stiff and has a lot of scar tissue. So by working with these intrinsic movements of the joint, we change the neurological signaling in the knee, the leg, and in the body. When we change that neurological signaling and get the pressure off of the nerves by working with these intrinsic movements, what happens is the joint begins to relax. When the joint relaxes, it creates a little bit of space. Well, what happens with a little bit of space is now the joint's able to move more. The gross motor movement of the knee will become a little bit easier. We're not talking about a lot easier. We're talking about a little bit easier. But here's the cool part, is when we make that movement just a little bit easier, the natural movement of the joint is going to begin to break down the scar tissue. Let me repeat that. The natural, comfortable movement of the joint will begin to break down the scar tissue. And when the joint gets more comfortable, the more the scar tissue you're going to be able to break down. So you begin to reverse the process. Instead of it being trying to push through the scar tissue into an uncomfortable range of motion, you create comfort in the joint to increase the comfortable range of motion, which breaks down the scar tissue. Simple? Yes. Easy? No. Where you go next is head over to my website, take my 7-day knee pain reduction challenge. You get a week's worth of training, essentially a week's worth of training on this concept, on working with one single stretch to begin relaxing the tension in the joint and increasing the range of motion. Simple. Easy? Probably not. Okay, if you have questions, enter those in the comments section over on the right. Okay, Sharon, I need your help. Sitting here in a recliner with an ice bag on my knee after total knee replacement, swollen and can't move my knee. That tends to be what happens. They cut off the bones in your leg and replaced it with plastic and metal. That's quite a trauma. So yeah, head over to my website. Get in the 7-day challenge, and if you want to set up a time where we can talk and we can figure out a strategy for what's going on with your knee. I have both group and private coaching programs where I work with, you're trying what? Exactly. Thank you so much for talking about this. Can you give me an example of relaxing the knee? Yes. Head over and take my 7-day knee pain reduction challenge. It's a demonstration of working with the intrinsic movement of the knee joint. And this is a feel thing. It's important to feel. Pain is a feeling. This is a concept that's difficult, especially with people with knee pain, to wrap their head around. Because when the knee's in pain, pain is a feeling. And you could point to where that feeling is in the knee. And so many people get stuck in the diagnosis of what's going on in the knee. They get stuck with, I have been diagnosed with arthritis. I've been diagnosed with bone on bone. I've been diagnosed with chondromalacia or patella tendonitis or patellofemoral syndrome, or you name whatever the diagnosis is, and the person gets stuck. It's like mental constipation of the diagnosis, and then they have emotional incontinence for what's going on. They get themselves so worked up. And we need to reverse that. We need to be solid in the emotions, like understand that it's like, got it. We need to really break this down and set up a foundations for which your body is able to get comfortable, the conditions for which your body can heal the knee, and then keep the mindset in a good place so we don't get off track in the process. So walking elliptical stretches, my pain makes me cry, then I want to quit. I have that constipation. Yeah, Sharon, I worked with, there's a woman, Mary, I worked out of Louisiana. She had total knee replacement in December of 2018, and she began working with the 7-day challenge in January, started getting results. Once again, the 7-day challenge is not supposed to get rid of all of your pain. It's supposed to give you a sample of how your neurology works, changing the neurological signaling and getting a change, ideally getting comfort. But the idea with that is we don't know how comfort's going to show up on the other side. We create comfort here. We don't know what's going to happen on the other side of that because your body's been compensating for a long time. Mary got some results. She signed up for private coaching, and we really got her out of pain within, and she's not normal, but we got her out of pain within a few months. So, okay. Jessica says, no link, no information on website showing an information box. Yeah, Jessica, I haven't posted it yet. This is the live video. Here, let me get the link for you. That's another thing. Thank you for letting me know A lot of people get, I'm really great at getting people out of knee pain. When it comes to technology, Bill's a little bit behind the curve. Let's see. So all you got to do is just really say, hey, Bill, this doesn't work. Let me work on it. Let me get it fixed. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. I got you the link. Will this process help increase my range? I can't seem to get past 90 and going down steps. Huh. Fascinating question after everything I shared. Yes. A lot of times when the knee locks at 90 degrees, there's a lot that's going on in the hips and lower back as well. The body is a series of pulleys and levers. In order for the knee to bend, the hip has to be able to bend as well. It's like they function together, the ankle, the knee, and the hip, lower back. And in order for you to be able to squat all the way down, there needs to be enough movement in the ankle, enough movement in the knee, and enough movement in the hips and lower back in order for the leg to fold upon itself so you can get your butt all the way down to your heels. When we have an injury, like in the knee, scar tissue buildup, whatever it is, painful range of motion, the knee locks up. Well, what happens to compensate for the knee is the hip locks up too. Tightens up in the hip and lower back, and it also tightens up in the ankle and foot. Most people, including doctors and physical therapists, only look at the knee. They're not looking at what's going on up and down the leg and other parts of the body. How not only in the ankle, the knee, and the hip on the side of the painful knee, but also on the ankle, the knee, and the hip on the other side of the body, the other leg. Because all of it plays a role. We can't put blinders on and think, well, because my knee hurts, it's not affecting the rest of my body. Which is why if you wake up with knee pain and you feel sort of refreshed, most people with knee pain don't get good night's sleep. And now they're exhausted by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's because it's like there is just this level of tension in the body that is causing energy to be used even if you're just sitting there. Because you can't, it's difficult to breathe. It's difficult to sit. It's difficult to stand. It's difficult to move. It's difficult to lay down. And when your body is under that level of distress 24/7, makes you cranky as hell. That's one thing. And it also sets up the conditions for your body to break down faster. So you go to thinking, you go to physical therapy, and you want, it's like it's supposed to help, but it's putting you in more pain. Like it's putting you in the opposite direction of what your body wants. Remember I said in the presentation that your knee doesn't feel safe. The knee on a bottom line doesn't feel safe. And what ends up happening is the more you put the knee in pain, the less it's going to get out of pain. Like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. You don't have to go to medical school or have letters after your name to understand that if you put the knee in pain, it's going to cause more pain. If you start out in pain and push through pain, you're not going to get out of pain. It just further embeds the neurology of the body trying to protect itself. Sharon, yes, cranky as hell. That's an understatement. And that's what tends to happen when the website doesn't work, a link doesn't work, whatever. People get mad at me. I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to fix stuff. Okay, how are we doing on questions? We have a few people here on the line. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Like and subscribe to my channel, The Knee Pain Guru. Is the comfort zone the same as a 7-day challenge? Good question, Jessica. think of it, the comfort zone is like an expanded version of the 7-day challenge. I give one of the stretches that's in the 7-day challenge I give one of the stretches that's in the comfort zone in the 7-day challenge for you to begin to work with these concepts, because I know these are different than what you've been exposed to or heard of in terms of relieving the pain in your knee. So I want to give you like evidence. Don't believe me. Try it on your knee. See if it works. If it works, great. I got plenty more where that came from. As a matter of fact, I got more than you can ever imagine. But we got to start somewhere. We got to give your mind, because you can't get out of pain if you don't believe you can get out of pain. We have to give your mind evidence and then build upon that to further create the belief that your body has a way to get out of pain. Comfort is that path. And if everything you've been doing is focused around pain to this point, then all it is reinforcing the signaling that causes you to look for pain. That's what's so challenging about my approach, is that you have two things to look for with your knee. You have pain, which is real easy to spot, but you also have where pain is not. And where pain is not is what I need you to begin to focus on more of. The places where the pain. Wait a minute. I'm going to check just in case, Jessica. So my website comes up. And it's the very first thing. It says it's free. It says take the 7-day knee pain reduction challenge. And there's a green button from the link. And I use the same link that I posted in the thread. Okay, we got questions. Put them in the comments section about knee pain, about pain in general, about scar tissue, about range of motion, about your diagnosis, about your doctor, about your physical therapist, about your exercise program, whatever it is, ask away. That offer not showing up on your website. Okay, Jessica, if you can't find it, I'm not sure what to tell you. That is the very first thing that shows up at the top of the page when you click on that link in the comment section. Yes, it starts out with an assessment. You click on the green button, it asks some questions to get a better understanding of what you have going on with your knee. And then what's going on with your knee, and then it flows right into the 7-day challenge. Okay, let's see. Remember, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, The Knee Pain Guru. Turn on notifications, which is the little bell by the subscribe button, to be notified of future videos, as well as head over to my website. I put the link in the comments feed for the 7-day knee pain reduction challenge. And that's what we got. Okay. Well, I'm going to sign off for today. I don't see any more questions coming in. This is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, thanking you so much for being here. We have these videos on Mondays and Thursdays at 9:55 a.m. Eastern time, so you can catch those, and that's what the notification bell is for. So I'm going to sign off for today. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of the week.